Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the latest support memory, I guess Easy A or Boost, and this is for the Vegeta's family support memory. So it's pretty interesting, or I guess Vegeta's family, but basically this is for a nice little boost to the support memory. There is a requirement. You do need to obviously have the int trunks, but other than that, it's a pretty cool support memory. It's actually quite a nice boost. It makes it quite a sizable 3-turn boost, which is actually quite good. A lot of the events, especially the later red zones for the Future Saga, start out pretty strong, so getting a nice sizable 20% boost early on can be pretty useful. Now, of course, you have to complete some missions. The missions are pretty straightforward, actually. For part 1, or the first difficulty, you have to use Android Cell Saga based units, 3 of them. And then for the second one, the second difficulty, you need to use 3 youth category units, which again is not too big a constituency. Now, in terms of the build for team, for the first difficulty, obviously, as you should all know, if you're doing these support boost missions, you do need to use only free-to-play characters that you've earned or obtained from the Battlefield shop. So you can only use free-to-play characters, that is characters you earn from events or by exchanging currency. Cannot use summonable units. Here, for this first one, we're going to be building a Future Saga team. Pretty strong one that features a lot of the Android Cell Saga's big hitters, but also just in general gives us a pretty good basis to work off of. You could technically do an Artificial Life Forms team as well. You could probably get away with doing that as well. It wouldn't be too bad. But the Future Saga one gives me a little bit more of a base to work off of for the second set of missions. But it's going to be whatever suits you the most. Of course, you could also inherently build a Pure Saiyans team, but I feel like this is probably the least effective out of these teams. So for the first stage, it's pretty straightforward. You can see here the Future Saga team, pretty nice, pretty smooth. Now, the one nice thing, or the one nice bonus, is that the bosses can be stunned in both difficulties of this event. So you can stun the bosses and seal them in both difficulties, which is pretty important, especially if you're someone who's struggling or has a slightly weaker team. Now, for the first phase of both difficulties, you will face AGL Trunks, and the second phase you will face a Strength Vegeta. So nothing too crazy either there, pretty simple and straightforward. Now, we're going to skip ahead because we don't really have any incentive to show it. It's not anything crazy. There's no big strategies. The bosses will fire off one super attack. They can be stunned, they can be sealed. It's all relatively straightforward stuff. Now, of course, in terms of this team build, I think this one went perfectly fine. You don't really have any other requirements here, so this one traditionally is quite straightforward. Now, the next difficulty is a bit different. The next difficulty requires us to use 3 youth character units, but also requires us to complete the event with no items, and also to complete the event within a certain set number of turns, being 7 turns. Now, it's very important to understand you don't need to do all of these missions at once. I will be achieving them all at once, but you don't need to do them all at once. You can very easily go and do the youth mission first, then do the speed mission, then do the no items mission. So take your time, change up your teams if you need to. It's not a rush. Now, to complete all of them at once, or to have a good chance at completing all of them at once, because it is quite difficult still, you're going to want to use a Hybrid Saiyans team. For this team, we'll be using the Goten, Gohan, and Trunks as our lead. We will then be incorporating the Int Trunks, the AGL Trunks, and then we will be incorporating the GT duo, the GT Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr., the Pan, who will be obviously the Strength type character unit, and then we will also be including basically, yeah, I think that is the entire team. We'll also be including the Great Saiyaman Halloween Trunks. Now, this is a good way to get the youth category mission done, but it is quite difficult to get the speed mission done with this team. So if you want to get the speed mission done, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you get the finishing blow with the AGL Prime Battle Trunks in the first phase. So you need AGL Prime Battle Trunks to get the finishing blow. This will give him a very big power boost, and then you want to use B-Pan's active skill in conjunction with that Trunks, and you have to pray for like 2 super attacks. That generally gives you enough speed to beat the strength phase of Vegeta. You generally have to finish the first phase against AGL Trunks at turn 3, and that gives you 4 turns to set yourself up to beat Vegeta in time. Now, like I say, it can be quite difficult. It took me around 3 tries to get the speed challenge done without items, but completing the youth challenge and the no item challenge is fairly straightforward. All you have to do is basically have AGL Trunks in one rotation. He can be with B-Pan, or he can be with the GT Duo, and on the other rotation you will have the Great Saiyaman Trunks Halloween unit with the other unit that's not in that rotation. You will then float both Goten Trunks and Gohan LRs, and you will also float the Int Trunks as well. Aside from that, pretty straightforward stuff. Honestly, very, very simple. You can see in this run through, I did not finish the speed mission. If you manage to finish the no item and the youth challenge, you can always just go back to the first team and apply a Bulma or items, or do whatever you need to get the speed boost. However, if you want to run this team again, you can just use a Bulma item to make your life easier. However, I did go and rerun it again without any items just to see if I could get the challenge done. I did, but like I said, it's very mandatory to get the finishing blow with AGL Trunks. And once you've done that, that is it. You have now boosted your support memory, and that's everything you need to know. So super cool, pretty straightforward, and let me know if you need any more help. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.